Hello everyone and welcome to the Topical Hour. Trailers, so titled because they used to come after movies, are tanking the movie industry and it's only been getting worse. We get trailers for movies, video games, TV shows, songs, we get ads disguised as trailers, we get trailers for streaming services, we get trailers for characters in movies and TV shows, we get trailers for updates to things we have already purchased, we even get trailers for trailers. I know we used to get teasers, but when I see a 30-second animated logo and then a date for like a week later for the actual trailer, I sit back and I think, yeah, trailers are getting out of hand. In this video, we'll discuss the best trailer of all time, the worst trailer of all time, and what makes a good trailer. Now, before we go into this conversation, I just want to say that I'll be referencing a few trailers as the video goes on, good and bad. So if I bring one up, you're just gonna have to watch it for yourself. Some of them have copyrighted music, and I'm just not opening that can of worms. So to start, we'll talk about what makes a good trailer. It's about 5 aspects. The first is going to be establishment. You need to craft about a minute or two of footage from whatever you're selling, right? But you need to give people reason to buy it. For this aspect, we'll talk about a trailer that I personally hate, which is the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. This trailer establishes things well. We understand that Scott's daughter sends a signal down to the quantum realm, and something pulls them in. We establish the main conflict of the film, trying to get home, and we establish the main antagonist, Kang the Conqueror. That's kinda all we need. This trailer, along with a lot of superhero trailers recently, seem to work on the idea that the audience needs to see parts of every fight and conflict in the film so they can buy tickets to see the full fights later.
This is ridiculous.
Not only does it show off some of the coolest moves and effects before you even see the film, but it leads to literally knowing what's going to happen. If you saw a fight in a trailer and the villain died before you see that fight in a movie, then the villain obviously isn't dead yet. As seen in Quantumania, the trick with the establishment aspect is to give the audience a taste of the film. Give a draw, give a problem that we need to solve so we can watch the movie and see it solved. 2. Not lying to your audience. Now you'd think this would be an easy one, but it's something The Last of Us Part 2 and pretty much all of the Avengers movies can't seem to do. Now obviously there's a difference between lying to your audience and deceiving them. The Last of Us 2 pretty much lied, whereas Avengers more so deceived. And then there's obviously when something is changed because it works better. In the gameplay trailer for Spider-Man 2018, they showed Mr. Negative in a helicopter Peter was chasing down, but in the game it was just some unnamed henchman. And I'd bet that was probably just a change that benefited the story, and it doesn't really change the trailer anyway. But why is lying to the audience a problem? Well, to begin, sometimes it's really obvious. When Marvel CGIs someone out of a trailer, we usually know it and are waiting to be introduced to someone new. And then if the audience doesn't know it, everyone feels seriously cheated the moment they find out what happened. And in a way, it is cheating. Literally all you have to do is show other scenes when Joel is alive, or other scenes where that new character isn't there yet. Again, I'd like to reiterate, we're talking about 2 minutes of footage from whatever property you're talking about. I mean, by the time the trailer comes out, the filming should be far done. Heck, use a take you don't even like if you want. Aspect 3 is the music. Now I know, this is effectively nitpicking, but you have to remember, trailers are advertisements. And yes, the primary thing I'm worried about is getting the audience excited for a project without spoiling the project itself. But I still would like it to be nice and high quality too. A good few examples of great music in trailers are the Endgame trailers, the Quantumania trailers, and for a non-superhero pick, it'll be Dr. Sleep. Good music should not only encapsulate the entire movie, but more so it should encapsulate the entire trailer. The very first Endgame trailer had that really almost depressing track, and it brought you back to the feeling you had when Infinity War ended. It was great. Dr. Sleep kinda does the same thing, not only summarizing how horrific some of the events in Dr. Sleep are, but how dreamy and surreal the film can feel sometimes. It's truly a brilliant piece. Music can seem like something small for a trailer, but has a lot more impact than you think. Jumping over to the games side, sometimes music can be right up there with actual footage that reveals too much as well. For example, God of War Ragnarok came out about 7 months ago, and the trailers leading up to the game feature like 5 or 6 of some of the most integral tracks in the game. Loki's theme, the main theme, Thor's theme, the Allfather's theme, the track that literally plays during Ragnarok, the thing that the game is named after. And when I listened to those tracks after the game came out, I was a little annoyed that nobody wanted to just wait for the game to come out and give a little more context to that music so it can hit to its maximum potential. But speaking of context, that's the 4th out of the 5 aspects of a good trailer. Context. We should have little to no context for what's happening. Now I know that might sound like it flies in the face of the first aspect, establishment, but that's not how I mean it. For instance, in one of the Infinity War trailers, we see Doctor Strange being tortured with those big space needles. All the trailer has established is that Thanos is collecting the stones and the Avengers are going to fight him and his armies. In that moment with Doc Strange, we don't know where he is or why he's being tortured, since we don't know that they can't access the Eye of Agamotto yet, but the scene still draws you in enough to want to know what's going to happen. We need an establishment, but the draw comes from everything we don't know. For example, and you'll laugh at this, but in 2014 when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer came out, the biggest reason I wanted to watch the movie was because I saw Emma Stone say Peter's name by accident. And then I watched it, and yeah, I was disappointed by the cheapness of the joke, sure, but it still got my butt in the seat. And then the fifth and final aspect of a good trailer is timing. For a good example, we'll use Tears of the Kingdom's trailer, and for the bad, we'll use The Flash and Cyberpunk 2077. So, and you might have heard this before, but Tears of the Kingdom essentially was done about a year before its release, and was just ultra polished for a while, which is really smart. I suggest that everyone does this when it comes to video games, but moving on. And then The Flash's trailer had a bunch of CGI shots that clearly weren't done, and honestly, they weren't done by release either. And Cyberpunk pretty much had the same issue. You can't start building hype like that if you know that you're nowhere near finished with the project. Or at the very least, prioritize the shots that you're planning on putting in the trailer so they can look decently spiffy to build that hype. It looks like that's what Quantumania did, and as a result, every other shot in that movie looks like garbage. But people still watched it. Now for the best trailer of all time and the worst. The only criteria I have for these is that they have to fail at all 5 aspects we just discussed. So the worst is quite easily The Last of Us Part 2 trailer. It didn't establish things well because it lied to us, the music is meh, context meh, and the trailer came out way before the game, so it's not timed pretty well. It's not necessarily anyone's fault, but you could say this trailer was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And then the best, which I kinda hinted at earlier, is Jordan Peele's Nope. Now, aside from the fact that it's probably my favorite horror movie ever, the very first original trailer that dropped for it, the original, is perfect. We have foundation because we see the UFO, so we have a draw. We have little context for what we see, so it could really be anything. The music is amazing. The timing was kind of off because of how early the trailer dropped, but also I think it gave us time to think about what the movie could hold, and the trailer doesn't lie to you at all, but rather allows you to trick yourself using what it shows. So yeah, trailers have kind of gone down the drain the last few years. Most video game trailers either reveal too much or are released too early, and film trailers show way too much and are pretty much always timed poorly. Even the Batman, which I loved, was kind of culpable of this. I guessed the movie's flood ending like 30 minutes before it happened, just because of a shot in the trailer. The problem with this, and why it's getting worse, is that they're almost spoiling entire projects just to get you to buy it. To the point where now a lot of people don't even watch trailers, especially in the horror genre. For me, trailers were always something really cool to watch before the movie in the theater. But now they're just posted online the moment they're released to build hype for the project by telegraphing most of it. It's unfortunate, but I don't see it changing anytime soon. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you left a like and subscribed, and if you made it this far, I'm pleasantly shocked but glad to have you here. Oh, and make sure to turn on notifications too. Or not, that's fine. Play nice, people.